See this man. That is Mr. Ashok. And I was so keen, in fact, and interacting and association with LG apart, but to learn something from this man was one of my avidity at that particular time. So without procrastinating any moment, I used to ask this man, "Sir, can I come for some official tie-ups or some presentation or something?" So I had a dual kind of objective. One is, of course, our association, which we have immense with LG, last for about over 10 years. And second was to learn from this gentleman. After his tenure from the LG, he immediately conveyed me that Ellen Mittalji has specially called him to establish the HR to his newly collaborated company located in Noida. And without wasting any of my time, I took appointment and visited his office. And I just want to tell you, today's lecture and learning is going to be very dramatic, very effective, and we must have this opportunity, and we would also request Ashok ji to bless us with his words, with his experience, and of course the ultimate motto is to have association with AMITY and Ellen Mittal Group. So thank you, sir. Before we start, we would request Captain Smita to read Ashok's profile.
I'll read out the brief profile that we have, and I'm sure it is actually a brief profile because his achievements are much more. Mr. Ashok Kumar is a postgraduate in Industrial Relations and Personnel Management. Mr. Ashok started his career with Messrs. National Hydroelectric Power Corporation Limited in 1981, where he served in various HR functions in different capacities. In 1996, he joined Samtel, a leading television and monitors picture tube manufacturer, as divisional manager and head of HR. In 2001, he joined LG Electronics and worked with them as senior GM HR, before joining HMEL in 2008. He holds a unique experience of establishing complete HR and performance management systems and help in building a performance-driven culture in newly established companies in India, aligning the mindset of employees drawn from a large number of companies within a short span of time, and building a strong team to achieve organizational goals has been his other achievement. He holds varied experience of having handled industrial relations and human resource management in large organizations with diverse cultures. He has presented papers on a number of topics in global HR conferences in India and abroad. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ashok Kumar.
Thank you. You see, what Mr. Avinash said, in fact, presented as if I am some sort of a superhuman, perhaps not. I am just like any other individual. First, I would like to talk about my company. You see, this is a joint venture company between Ellen Mittal Investments and HPCL, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation. We have set up a refinery in Bathinda. It is a 9 million ton refinery in Bathinda in Punjab, which has a capacity which was set up at an expenditure of roughly around 26,000 crores. It's a huge expenditure. And 49% shares are held by both these joint ventures, 49 and 49. And 2% is with other financial institutions. Essentially, these financial institutions are banks, and but it has been done in such a manner so that government shareholding does not go beyond 50 at any point of time, so that it remains a private sector company. It doesn't become a public sector by any means. This is a board-run company, and where we have board of directors drawn from HPCL and Ellen Mittal's and day-to-day functioning and day-to-day management is left with us. They do not interfere or work with our come into our day-to-day functioning. We started construction of this refinery in March and April 2008. It was commissioned in April 2012 within a record time of 4 years. The Prime Minister dedicated this to the nation, and we are now operating this refinery. This refinery is producing roughly close to about 10 million tons. And whatever petrol, diesel, kerosene you buy, maybe from the HPCL petrol pumps, maybe they are all from ours. And any petrol, diesel or anything you buy within Punjab, maybe even with Indian Oil and BPCL, that is also ours. So that is how it is structured right now. Now you see, Avinash ji asked me to come and talk about building a performance-oriented culture, and this is one thing which I was doing here in this company. One of the most important things for any organization, any system to survive or maybe thrive, what is that? It is strong leadership. You see, there are n number of examples. If there is a strong leader, the companies have thrived, prospered, grown, and where you have seen weak leaders, maybe not effective leaders, the companies have gone down. Jack Welch, for example, he was a great leader. He took GE from maybe multi-fold times and even now, even after he established such a system, it went into the DNA of the organization that even his successors, if they want to do something else, they will not be able to do it. That is the type of leadership what industry needs, basically. In India also you have a number of examples. Azim Premji, Narayan Murthy, all these people, they are very simple people. You can just walk into them and talk to them. But they have their very strong values. And that is what which guides them, supports them, helps them. Azim Premji never travels in business class on his own. He travels in economy class. Till about 5-7 years back, he used to drive Maruti ST or Ford Icon. That's all. No fancy cars. Narayan Murthy, if you meet him, maybe you will feel that maybe he is just one amongst us. they have a strong value system. They try to inculcate very, very strong values and they live by those values. They make sure that even if they have to pray, these values do not come free, please understand. None of these values, any value, whatever you cherish, none of these values come free. You have to pay a price for it. And he also paid, all of them. In fact, all those leaders who practice, who cherish any value, and if you want to really cherish a value, you have to pay a price for it. It cannot be, it comes free. So what they have done, they have established strong foundations of values. Very, very strong foundations of values. Not only talking of, making it actually practice. And what we did in HADL, I will just share my example. When I joined, I was the 20th employee in this company. This was not a promoter-driven company, it was a board-driven company. We need to establish values, we need to establish systems, work culture, everything. Hardly any people. People were joining in every day. 5-10 people used to join. We are about 1200 right now. Every month, initially about 30, 40, 50 people used to join. It was a huge challenge aligning their mindset. People from different cultures, different organizations, different thought processes, different work processes, they were all joining this team. Now you need to establish some of those values. What are those values which you would like to cherish, which you would like your entire organization to pursue, to follow, and gets into the DNA of the organization. So we did a workshop, maybe. The senior management sat together, thought, what is the value which this industry needs? What are those values? It has to be business driven. Ultimately, we are all here in the business of making money. And of course, serving societies is definitely there. But we have to understand what is that which value we would like to cherish. So we worked out values. I would not get into the details of the values, but what we did, we worked out the senior management. We thought that, okay, these are some of the values which we need to cherish. We spread that message that these are some of the values which we need to cherish. What happened? People started evaluating those values in different ways. Everyone thought that this value means this value means this. Then what we did was, we broke those values into behavioral indicators. What are those indicators which would help, which would say that if we do these things, maybe we have achieved those values. Now people had to understand that. So what we did, we cascaded it down and formed small groups of people, took their suggestions, so that they also felt involved in the process, that what are those behavioral indicators against these values, which we need to cherish, which we need to follow, which we need to practice, and make sure that it gets into the DNA of the organization. The impact was tremendous. People across the organization understood that these values are not here to be only spoken of, it needs to be practiced. The involvement of the masses was there. They gave a whole lot of suggestions. We captured all of them. We close to about maybe 3,500 behavioral indicators we got against 6 core values what we thought of. Then we said that, okay, there are too many of them. Maybe we need to simplify it. Make it such that people understand. Against each core value, maybe we'll have 5 behavioral indicators, not more than that, 5 or 6. And that is what, when we are slowly brought it up, discussed, the senior management did a workshop. Because actually you see leadership follows practices. It is much louder than the words. The leaders' actions are much louder than the words. So they got involved. They said, okay, now these are some of these behavioral indicators which we would follow. And that then was cascaded down and informed, communicated to all. And that is how we got the core values into the DNA of the organization. It's a practical experience, what I am narrating it to you. And we are, I would say, still one of the strongest in those values, whatever we have identified. Now coming back to leadership. That is one of the most important things. More than 80% of the organizations, more is dependent on what the leader says. He becomes the role model. People see him behaving, and the way the leader behaves, people start following that. It comes naturally. And people don't have to do much about it. It comes very, very naturally. Within 2 months or 3 months, you will see the way the leader talks. Others will start mimicking it. Someone would start following it in the meetings. And that is how it goes. So developing of leaders across the organization, not maybe only one leader. That becomes very, very important. Every set of people, you need a leader. Success and failure, if you see, predominantly by and large, depends on the leader of the organization. How empowering is he? How trustful is he? Now, it is very easy to say empowerment. Empowering is what we read in the books. It is one of the most important values that leaders should practice. But with empowerment, people don't understand. They are getting some freedom. But underlying fact is that they have got some duty also to make this freedom, this empowerment live. People forget about their duties. Every value, what you practice, there has to be some sort of people have to understand that there is some duty towards that value which you need to deliver to make it happen. So we said that we are going to empower people. Mr. Mittal never interfered in the working of this company. I remember when we started, just about 6 months down the line, there was recession. Recession came, the subprime markets crashed in US, global recession came. After 1 year of that, maybe he came to us and asked us, why are you not buying steel from us? We were buying steel in millions of tons. Why are you not buying steel from Arsenal? We said that we offered them, they were not competitive, the price what they were giving was too high. We said them, in India we are getting at this price, maybe you do at this. And they did not do that. They could not meet those prices. And he said, fine, if they are not able to meet the price requirements, what you have, what is the market price in the country, forget it, don't buy from them. So that was the level of empowerment, I would say, which Mr. Mittal gave in this organization. But the underlying fact was there that we had a duty. duty was that make sure, make him confident, make him, we do everything that makes all of us feel proud. We do not do anything which undermines this value of empowerment. Had he felt that we are doing something wrong, had he felt that there was something wrong going on in this company, this empowerment would have been taken away by him. So, what we told people in the organization is that we are empowering all of you. But please understand, do not misuse it. Please understand your duties as well and try to follow it. The second most important thing of leadership is developing emotional connect with people. If you are able to develop an emotional connect, you don't have to say anything. People start acting on their own. They know what you are looking for. That is what we all focused at the senior most level. Even though we had MD and CEO in the organization, but MD and CEO alone was not deciding anything. It was always the group of people together they decided things. So that everyone, it was transparency across systems. Anything and everything, not one person deciding anything. It has to be a group of people. Transparency became a norm in this country. That everything has to be transparent. Everything, it cannot be that one person decides that we will do this. Any major decision, you see 26,000 crores we have spent in 4 years. Huge money. Even a small percentage of that would have made anyone a millionaire. But just to make sure that we are spending right money. We thought that, okay, the leadership is empowering, but we need to have certain duties of our own. We made very, very transparent systems. People knew that if we are doing this, why we are doing this. Not that all decisions which we took were right. There were decisions where we committed mistakes as well. But that was understood by all. Okay, under those circumstances, these decisions were taken. I was talking, I in fact jumped from emotional connect to what happened in Maruti. I should not be talking of any other organization right now. It was a classic example of the emotional connect not being there. You see, why should your set of workers, your set of people become so violent that they forget that they have a colleague, a senior colleague, and they are their supervisors, they are working day in and day out with them. And think of coming to this sort of brutality. The level of brutality, it only comes when you are totally bereft of emotional connect. Even if we don't know each other, you don't go and kill a person. The level of animosity was high, very, very high. Why? Because of the emotional connect. Not me. We developed systems in HMEL because we knew At one point of time, we were having about 36,000 construction workers. And even now, if you see, maybe 1,200 people are on our rolls, but total about maybe 5,000 people are working in the company. We have given jobs, outsourced a lot of jobs, which we are not doing it ourselves. But just to make sure that we don't repeat those mistakes, there has to be an emotional connect at all levels. We developed systems where, right, each and every leader within his domain, within his span of, talk to people. The MD and the CEO talk to the lowest level of people. At least got an audience, lowest level people got audience maybe once in 6 months over a cup of coffee. So that he understands. Some sort of an emotional connect gets developed in the process. Similarly, all the vice presidents, all the senior leaders, they were asked, at least once in 6 months, try to cover a set of people so that there is some sort of an emotional connect. So these are all traits of leadership. How strong you entrench the values of a good leader across the organization much depends on that. Coaching, counseling, getting into the shoes of others and trying to understand what the other person is doing. It throws a lot of light. These are basically, we thought that let come from the very beginning and become a part of the DNA of the organization. Now we had people from close to about 120 companies joining this organization within a short span of about how many? Maybe 3 to 4 years. Think of 120 companies, 120 mindset, 120 processes, everyone talking differently. We were developing our IT system, SAP. What happened? Everyone was talking of what processes he had in his previous organization. And that was the best process. We need to follow that. But we needed our own. We needed an identity of our own. So we developed our own processes. Small groups of people discussing, talking to each other, trying to find out what are those processes which are required, which are good for the organization, good for the system. That was developed. What happens with this? When you do it in a very, very synchronized way across small groups of people developing systems and processes, what happens? Alignment of mindset takes place. Now, alignment of mindset is very, very important. If everyone starts thinking in different direction, what happens? The common goal is missed out. That is what we actually did in this organization, just to make sure that people got aligned. Then of course, you need to have a very strong structure as well, systems, the performance management system in place. Make sure that people understand what the system is, what are the underlying guiding principles behind it. What are those values which are embedded with these systems? Whether these systems promote those values or not. That is very, very important. So, or developing all this system became a part of our process, work process. The performance management system, a robust performance management system, has very strong subsystems as well. The role of each individual in the organization has to be very, very clear. We conducted role clarity exercises. Similarly, small groups of people within the department trying to understand what each person is going to do. This role clarity exercise brought about so much of clarity within the team. People understood that in a team, what am I going to do? What is my contribution? At what stage am I going to take over the role from someone else, and at what stage I am going to hand over a particular role? That was the type of clarity it brought about. Then, of course, the target setting. People understood their targets, their annual targets, what they have to do, what are those targets, and how we are going to achieve them. This also, you see, one of the things what I am trying to give this message across is, whenever you are doing anything, try to do it collectively. Involve people in the process. The more you involve people, the simpler it becomes in its execution. If you think and decide doing alone, maybe you will not succeed. And that is what we actually followed across at all stages. Whatever we wanted to do, we did it, but with the involvement. Target setting, then of course in reviews and monitoring. But one of the most important things in reviews, what we talked about was that we are not talking of absolute performance. We are not talking of absolute performance of an individual. We are talking of relative performance. We try to get this relative performance. People don't understand this easily. They say, I have done this. This is a great job. And why am I not being rewarded? Why am I not being promoted? Why am I not being recognized for it? You see, we are in an era where we have to work in teams. Individualism, of course, to some extent is required, but not beyond the point. And when working in teams, we are talking of relative performance. That is how we raise the bar year after year. We said we will rank people. We did this sort of thing exercise in LG as well. What we did, every week, the sales, the production guys, their performance was being rated and published. People could see them on their intranet. This particular branch, this particular person, this particular product, this particular, either in sales or in production or in service. What was happening? Everyone, every week was saying, where is it vis-a-vis the other? Is he at number 1, number 2, number 10, number 20? Where is he? Where is he being ranked? And that brought about tremendous unleashing of energy. You see, you don't want to be second to anyone. No one wants. Everyone wants to be at the best. And the moment you do the relative performance and get that relative performance into the DNA of the organization, people start making sure that okay, they move on. It does promote individualism, but you need to balance it out as well. You have to make sure that maybe individualism is not to that extent where it affects the teams. So this was something which we brought about in this company as well. Talking of relative performance all the time. Where do you? Initially people do not understand this. Another way we brought about this relative performance was we asked people to force strike. Within a group of about 20 people or 30 people, we said, okay, let the leaders. You see, one of the challenges what we came across and which normally all of us would come across in working life is managers are very poor in differentiating people. And especially amongst the Indians, they are highly emotional. Oh, this guy is very good. He has done such a great job. This guy is very good. Okay, who is the best? We need to find out. You cannot have horses and donkeys together. You need to take out your... Because what is going to happen is that if you are equating everyone together, you are taking the organization to a lower growth trajectory. People will start feeling that here, whatever I do, I will not be recognized. I will not be appreciated. So why do that? Why take that extra effort to do something different, to do something great? No. And that is one of the weaknesses many of us have this. That we try to, when it comes to appraisal, we try to appraise people not only on performance but on factors other than performance. We have to be a little cautious of that. And that is what we started doing right from the very beginning. Let us talk of performance, let us not talk of other factors. This guy is very good. Whenever I tell him to do anything, he does it. Last year, maybe he was crying, he was not very happy. Maybe this year I will raise his level. Whatever I tell him, he is just a follower. He will never raise a question, he will never say why. Doesn't put me into an uncomfortable situation. A lot of all these factors start playing. And what happens? Performance. You appraise people on factors other than performance, and the message is very, very strong across the organization. यहाँ तो चमचागिरी चलती है. यहाँ तो काम कुछ भी कर लो, बॉस को खुश कर लिया तो सब हो जाएगा. And that is what you need to be cautious of. Trying to find out who is the best. That is what. And maybe when people come forward when you do that, people come and ask you, why have I not been rated the best? You must have an answer. You simply cannot brush it aside. You सिर्फ भगा दिया बोला भाग जाओ काम करो बताएंगे बाद में. No, it doesn't work. Better time spent. Sit with the guy, try to coach him. What you have done, where do you need to improve upon, what are those areas? But those leaders who are actually doing that, what is happening? The overall level of performance of that department, of that organization goes up. People try to bypass the human processes. The moment you start bypassing the human processes, what happens? You can stop bothering about it. Sometimes they will bother and after that they will forget. They will do things whatever they feel like is good. They will not do things what the organization wants them to do. So that is one of the most important things. Of course, you see, one of the biggest challenges is developing people. And developing people means, when I am talking of not only functional areas, you see people, you are hiring educated people and they have their own work experience as well. But what happens is, developing, channelizing the leaders in a particular way so that their behaviors, their attitude promotes performance, promotes the values which the organization cherishes, is very difficult. Changing of a behavior is not so easy. It takes years and years to change one's behavior. And what we did, that we said, these are some of the things which you people will have to do. We will monitor it through a 360-degree process. Now, 360-degree, we incorporated it and made it a part of the performance appraisal system, which no people do not do. Just to make sure that these are some of the values which we want to cherish across the organization. And this 360-degree was very, very transparent, known to everyone. So even the subordinates used to rate the names of the subordinates and whosoever are the peers, that we used to, of course, hide. But people knew what other people in the system are thinking, so that it gives an indication to them that, okay, well, these are some of the behaviors which the organization is expecting me to improve on. It gave a very strong message across the organization that we have to change. What is one of the biggest problems, not problems, what we see is, what happens is that right from childhood, when we are growing, when the type of environment in which we are growing shapes our working style or our leadership style. If I am in an environment which is very dictatorial, I tend to become a dictatorial, autocrat. If I have been grown in an environment which has been very democratic and very considerate and all that, I tend to capture those values and inculcate them in my system. One of the most important things for a leader is that he should not be able to use only those values which he is strong on. Sham Dam Dand Ved, jo kaha gaya hai, a leader has to use everything. But mostly what happens is that if I am used to a danda approach, I will use stick only. If I am used to be a very democratic leader, I will follow that process. One has to follow all the styles of leadership, depending on the situation. And that is a big challenge. The styles, yes, you can read in the books, it's there, situational leadership. But what happens? predominant style is maybe one or two, and you use only them. So we need to develop it, and that is another way we thought we can develop our people in the system, so that they can use all the styles of leadership on different occasions, different situations, depending on the need of the hour. Now, with all these things in place, I can say any organization, not only my organization, but any organization, if you put these systems into practices, these things into place, follow it, not only talk of it, actions speak louder than words, I am sure any organization will succeed. Of course, market and other conditions within course, that should be supported. You can control systems within the organization. Thank you. Any questions? Maybe I would like to take.
May I request any questions from the audience?
So, what's your say? Excuse me, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself.
Sorry.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, sir. My name is Suresh Srivastava.
And what are you doing?
I'm an assistant manager, training and operations in EXL service.
And what are you doing with us?
MBA. Pursuing MBA, second semester.
Go ahead.
Sir, it was really inspiring to hear such words from you. Very nice. Thank you so much. And what is your say, or how would you differentiate a manager and a leader?
You see, manager and leader, I have been talking only of leadership right now.
Yes, sir.
A manager is just managing things. But leader is someone who is doing much more than that, building an emotional connect with people, trying to coach, trying to develop people, develop systems.
Sure. So, in terms of leadership, you say the person who is managing the entire organization. But being a supervisor, I manage 2 teams in my organization. But how should I pursue my career to step into that leadership shoes so that my team members look forward to me as a leader, building their career growth path and looking after their career-wise growth as well?
You see, one of the most important things is that people should see you as a leader.
Yes, sir.
They should see you doing something differently, something which they are not doing.
Actually, so telling you about the background of our organization, we basically provide services. So managing a team of operations and training at the same time. So it's a bit challenging for me sometimes, wherein I have to the work. So at that point of time, I have to come up with ideas just to make sure that I should inculcate the career growth path and the leadership qualities in me, so that I should provide them the growth path that, look, you are working here for the next 8 hours, but we are working on your career growth path as well. So that is the difference which I want to understand from you, because you have led the HR organization or department for various organizations. So what should we do? What steps should we take as supervisors?
Okay, you see, one of the most important things is people see if they get learning, if they are getting a good learning. You must try to rotate them and provide them with ample of learning opportunities. The moment they see that their learning is stopped, their performance comes down. So learning, if they are on a learning curve all the time, maybe you will keep their motivation very high. And of course, career progression, of course, is not only dependent on that. It depends on business as well. If business grows, he will get an opportunity. If business doesn't grow, maybe he will not be able to get an opportunity. And then maybe if there are 10 people, out of 10, maybe the best he will get.
Yes.
If there are 2 positions, maybe the best 2 will get. So that will always happen, and that is, you need to make sure that relative performance is not compromised under any circumstance. The day you start compromising on that, maybe people will see it differently.
And any idea or any information regarding attrition management?
You see, you need to find out what is the reason people are leaving. Whether they are leaving just for salary, just for career growth, or maybe I'm not getting ample learning opportunities. Those reasons you need to, from the exit surveys and all that, it comes out, and then work on those. Find out what is that vis-a-vis the market. Who are your competitors? Maybe where are your guys going? What are they doing to lure or poach your guys? So that's, you need to study that and maybe work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? We have time for about a question or two more. Anybody else? Okay, then I think I have a question. May I request you to tell us a little more about individualism vis-a-vis the team spirit that needs to be inculcated in an organization?
Okay, you see, what happens is, there is a big dichotomy going on between individualistic approach and team. In today's world, things are very complex. No one person can do anything or everything. It has to be a team effort. Now, you have to balance it out. You cannot say that individualism is not important. Individualism is also very, very important. If I, for myself, do not see that I have a career growth for myself, and I only say that the entire team has to grow together, perhaps that individualistic spark which the organization is looking forward for will miss. How you balance it out? Through various means. That needs to be done. You cannot say that maybe only individualistic. When you are doing relative performance, what happens? You are promoting individualism. But at the same time, don't make it such that you are not able to handle teams. Do team performance as well, relative performance as well. Reward teams more. People should not forget that they have to work in teams. Don't do relative performance within small teams. The moment you start doing it in very, very small teams, it becomes a problem. You have to find a mid-course to it, correct yourself. If you see that maybe any action of yours is promoting too much of an individualism, maybe you need to stop it and balance it out with some team activity. So these are things which maybe you will have to practice it and do it. You do not have a ready-made answer or a solution to it.
Thank you very much. I would certainly like to thank Mr. Ashok Kumar for this extremely enriching lecture today, and all of us have immensely benefited from today's talk. I'm very honored to inform all of us here that we have with us General S. Kumar, who is the founder member of this institute of ours. May I request General Kumar to please come and say a few words.
Thanks.
Can you all hear me at TV? Can you hear me? Firstly, of course, thank you very much. I take an objection to what you said, Peter. You said he was the founder member and still the member. So both the founder as also the existing member. So sorry for that correction. Firstly, I would like to compliment Ashok for excellent job. It was indeed sharing your practical experiences of the problems in the organization. Very, very valuable. I'll take a few minutes with your permission, sir.
Yeah, sure.
To share a few thoughts with you. Firstly, I'll say the topic of the day was building performance-oriented culture. Two things stand out. A culture and performance. Now keep that in mind. But before I dwell on it, I'd like to ask your management students, most of you, what is management? Simple. Would somebody answer me and update me, what is management? Any student, please. Anyone. Just one line answer. What is management?
Taking out the best from the individual.
Beg your pardon?
Bringing out the best of an individual.
Anybody else? One more of you. Finish. Anyone? Manage things. Good. Shall we change the word management with a word called optimization? Should management be redefined today not as managing things, but I say optimizing all resources available to you? Should that be our motto? Should the managers of future be that? I dare say yes. You will need to optimize because the resources are going to be more and more scarce. The competition is going to be more and more severe. Therefore, two things stand out. Performance. Underline. Second, culture. What does culture indicate? Why are we saying culture? At one time, all of us can get together and perform. But to do it again and again and again as a matter of habit is culture. In simple words. So therefore, dear friends, the leaders of tomorrow, that is you, have to do two things. Keep on producing the best results and keep your performance high. Now how do you get a performance? Two things. Interplay of two things. Skills. What you've learned, how to do a training program, this, that, everything is training and development. The other part, motivation. We talked about leadership. Difference between a leader and a manager. I give a small example from life. Leadership emanated basically from the services. The example that I want to quote from Napoleon, in one of the very severe battles, he lost more than half his army, a few lakhs of people. And he was running for his life, and he landed up in a fort. Winter, severe winter. Now all his police, teams, whatever you call it, generals, various everything accompanying him, but thinking in terms of surrender. The terms of surrender. How do we handle it? So they all gathered strength and went up to Napoleon and asked him, "Sir, there is no way out. Let us get the best of terms for surrender." He said, "No, things could be worse." So they said, "How can it go worse? So he said, how many people are there who have surrounded us? So they said about 10,000. And he had a team of hardly about 200 soldiers. They said, all right, in addition to this, it is severe winter, it may be raining. And it actually rained in that battle. And the beauty of it is, when the team and the other people were thinking of managing the affairs of the day, how best to get up, how best to surrender, what all to do? There was only one thing in motivation. We must get out and fight another battle tomorrow. And the beauty of it is he escaped. Now see the leadership coming into play. At that time, you have to lead, do something else, something out of the way. So dear friends, please remember this. There has always been a debate on whether management includes leadership or leadership includes more management. But please remember, they go hand in hand. Leadership is in crisis. Success is teams. Success is my people. Yours. Leadership. You got the point, leadership, somebody asked the question. Failure is leadership. Ability to lead. So therefore, in the word of tomorrow, both have to be done. Management, I say optimization. You have to do it. And how do I do optimization? Skill development and leadership. You got to have that connect that we talked about. That connect is essential. If the people know that you will stand by in adversity and you are the one who will always find a solution, they will do it. Your connect has to be top. The third thing that I want to say, so I said skill development, I said motivation, which includes leadership. And the third thing tomorrow is definitely required innovation. Think of something new. Don't confine yourself to what has been going on. Don't confine yourself to what is given in the books. And that is why I asked you the definition of management. Every book says managing. But tomorrow when you write a book, call it optimization. This is my motto. And optimization also includes motivating your people so that as a culture, as a habit, as a continual effort, you produce the best result. You have learned about a saying, a shloka, Karmanya Vadhikarasya Mahapaleshu. Karmanya, yes, it is my duty without the phala results or whatever it is. But I will say to best results and not only results. Karmanya Vadhikarasya. I have to do work, but work at excellence. Okay, everybody? Have we clarified that point of leadership and motivation?
Yes.
Leadership and managers. Okay? So dear friends, remember for tomorrow, you have to be both leaders as also managers. Managers means optimization. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, General Kumar. May I now request Dr. Manoj Sharma, Dean ADDOE, to please present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Smita. No, I'm not here for any other lecture. It's okay.
Maximum is ठीक है बराबर से.
What else you can expect to have such a intellectual debate for both ends, an enlightening lecture, and an equally good participation, followed by a further topic by General Kumar, which is almost enriching to everybody. Dear students, the idea over here is to bring and make you interact with the real face of industry, the successful face of industry, and get you to know how things to work it out. Sir, we are very thankful for your valuable inputs. You have actually connected us with the human behavior and the actual functioning at the corporate level. You have also told the behavioral genetical engineering. As a leader, you have defined leadership challenges along with the solution. The best part, the solution has emanated from the actual experiences what he has drawn from his rich past working. So we are immensely thankful, and I expect and I am confident that each one of us who are here is in one or the other form of leader, whether present or the future, will take away inputs and from here and will implement in his or her own manner right from now. Thank you very much, and thank you Avinash ji for organizing and giving us a wonderful platform to hobnob, interact, and most important is to organize and finish this lecture in time, which is the quality of a leader. So this is another example that we have, and thank you General Kumar for your still wonderful, as always, your inputs are very valuable. And thank you students, you have made it in the large number, and we expect more and more you people to come in the future lecture and get benefited out of it. And thank you all the organizers. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful weekend.
May I now request Kumar to please felicitate the guest of today. It was wonderful having you here, and you are highly enriched. Thank you very much for coming.
Summary of AMITY. So this is a crucial thing. Oh, as it grows.
Thank you. Thanks all of you.
This brings to the end of the lecture today, the lecture session today, and we hope to have a very good lecture also in future. Dear students, as you know that today is the combined classes in Noida only, and therefore from the 11:30 onwards, classes will be scheduled as the earlier schedule. So therefore attend the classes from 11:30 onwards. Thank you.